Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Zero Mission. In the last one, we defeated Kraid and Mother Brain, blew up their base on Zebus, and then we got ambushed. We don't have our suit, we don't have a ship, and I'm gonna try to see if I can hit this. I probably won't. Nope! Alright, so during this segment, we're gonna be trying to stay out of sight of the space pirates here and remain stealthy. So there are a number of things that you can do to kind of set off the alarms, as it were. One of them is, you know, coming into direct sight of a pirate. Another one is to trip one of these tripwires. And so I'm going to try to... Nope, I didn't hit it. Dang it, I was so close. But... Okay, so we're trying to avoid triggering these alarms because it'll cause gates to, you know, pop up in our way, and they block our path, and that's not a fun time. So we're trying to avoid it whenever possible. It is technically possible to do perfect stealth throughout this segment and never get seen once, but there are a few places where it's next to impossible not to be seen. And some of doing perfect stealth revolves knowing around about certain like shortcuts or tricks, like this area that allows you to get around I think a place where you get seen. So that's one of the places that makes your life a lot easier. But the thing at the very beginning is just, it's really difficult not to get seen there. So if you're trying to do perfect stealth, you're probably going to end up resetting right at the beginning there a lot. Now, usually I can avoid that tripwire that got me that time. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you know, you can see how close I was to actually getting it. But the shame about it is the music that's playing right now is actually really good, but you usually don't get to hear the later parts of the track that often because you're getting seen by the space pirates. That's another one that's really hard to not get seen for. Now, you do have to take this path right here if you want to get out without being seen, because if you take the normal path, you will most definitely get seen in the next room. But in any case, we are outside of the space pirate mothership now, in an area called Chozo, which, in case you couldn't tell from all of the ruins and such, Chozo used to live here, so it's actually a lot closer than I was intending it to be. But there are some places, though, where staying stealthy is actually not the best thing to do as far as you know, being fast. So there will be a few places, well, there's at least one that I can think of where I'm intentionally going to get seen. Now, this room, actually, you can do a pretty fast strat that I actually was able to pull off there, which is good. That gets you, you avoid being seen. So that one's pretty cool. Nope, I got seen. That's another hard pirate right there, the one that I just fell past and shot. It's another hard one to actually avoid being seen for. I'm just gonna wait for the pirate to not see me there. So right now we don't have any way of actually killing the pirates. We can just stun them with a fully charged shot. So for now, really the only way to avoid or to turn off the alarm is to not be seen by them for a certain period of time. So usually that involves hiding somewhere where they can't see you or something like that. Hey, power bombs. Yeah, we saw those earlier. You're not going to be able to catch up to that space pirate carrying them right there. It's not possible. Even though you can clearly run faster than it can. Yeah, I thought for sure that it was going to hit me that time, but apparently it didn't. Crap. Ah! This is what happens when you mess up the intended strategies. That was a lot of damage. That is a difficult room to get through without taking damage, though. I will say that. For sure. We should hopefully be good for the rest of it. Except for maybe that. So usually I lose the siren. Yeah, there. Alright, so that is the stealth segment. Done and over with. Not quite as smooth as it could have gone, but we're walking out of it okay. We didn't really lose too much time on it, so not really much to complain about. And now the atmosphere has changed, so you can tell that we're somewhere important. So for those of you not up to date on your Metroid lore, Samus was actually raised by the Chozo on Zebes, so that's why she's having that flashback there. We have ourselves a boss of sorts. You could really call it a mini boss. This is the Chozo Guardian, and the way that this works is that when it flashes with that symbol, you want to shoot it. If you shoot it at any other time, you're going to be shooting yourself, and you'll damage yourself. As you go throughout the fight, usually, okay, there it is. After the first hit, it'll start launching lightning at you. And then after the third hit, the lightning will start spreading around the edge of the room if it doesn't hit you or not. There it is. That was weird. It took a while to activate there. Wow. You are not being cooperative. Wow. Don't usually have that much trouble with that guy. It's a cool little trick that you can do with... No, I didn't hit it. There's a trick that you can do with that where if you jump right when it tries to lock you in for this cutscene, then you can just kind of escape it and it looks kind of funny. And for beating the Chozo Guardian, we get our suit back, and it also grants us access to those 3 power-ups that we picked up but we couldn't use before, which are all really great. The plasma beam, the gravity suit, and the space jump. So we finally got our fully powered suit. One of the interesting details, though, about it is that when we had the various suit before, we didn't have the big shoulder pads. So this is actually now canonically the event where Samus gets the big shoulder pads on the various suit. There's also a fun little bit of trivia about this segment, and that is the when it comes to the various suit. So in the American and let's see, actually, is it in the American and European versions of the game? Future me can correct. Of course, I messed up pressing that. Future me can correct this if I'm wrong, but I know in the American version, at least, if you don't have the various suit, which you can very much skip, you know, if you're not going for 100%, you can skip the various suit, and the game will actually just give you the various suit when you get to that point in the game, and so that actually prevents you from getting 9% in the American version. So the lowest that you can get percentage-wise in the American version is 10% because of that, which I think is kind of funny. So if you don't have the various suit, it just kind of like throws it into your inventory. So what I just did there was a sequence of Shrine Sparks, which is one of the most difficult ones to do in the game. Just kind of, casually doing that while talking about other things. but you can recharge your speed booster by going up on slopes. It'll essentially start you running again. I've been doing it the whole time, but it's just a prudent thing to mention at that point in time, you know, because you use it a lot for that particular energy tank. Okay, stop being a jerk. I really did not have to kill that one. Oh my gosh! Wow, that was something. Wow, I'm getting hit by these guys a lot. Stop doing that. All right. So over here is another, oops, super missile for us to get. Now that we have our fully powered suit, this is going to be kind of the cleanup portion of the run. So, unfortunately, we have to head back out of Chozodia. We're not going to be able to get all of the upgrades here presently. You know what, I'll stop for this. So, what sucks is that, and I might get to it in this part, I might not. We have one more major power-up left to get at this point, and that is the power bombs. Fortunately, the power bombs are essentially right at the end of the pirate mothership, and there are upgrades in the game that require you to have the power bombs. So you basically have to go all the way to the end of the pirate mothership, go back out, and go around and do, it's kind of like a victory lap or whatever you want to call it, where you go around the world with all of your power-ups just to pick up a few select things. So I'm going to be heading for that first. I'm picking up some things that we can get along the way, such as those super missile expansions. I'm really not having a great time with the RNG on some of these enemies. So one of the things that is kind of annoying about the pirate mothership, though, is that a lot of the bomb blocks are the grouped variant, where when you bomb one of them, it kind of destroys all of them. And the reason for that is that the pistol shot from the Zero Suit technically counts as bomb-type damage. So whenever we were shooting those and destroying those as Zero Suit Samus, that's why. So unfortunately now for us, it means we have to bomb all of those. We can't screw attack through any of them, which is a little frustrating. I barely got seen there. We're at the point now, though, where we can actually kill them pretty easily, I might add. So it's really, getting seen isn't important now. We just might have to deal with some enemies every so often. So yeah, here's where you're seeing this entire, long corridor, and there's really no way to skip past this stuff. There are some shortcutty things that you can do, but some of them are only in the other direction, and you can't avoid everything. So for example, this is one where we can just run through the room and fall through this pitfall box. So that's convenient, but other stuff not so much. So we're almost there. And for as much as I'm harping on about how annoying this whole setup or this segment is, it didn't really take that much time in the grand scheme of things. So like I said before, I'm just not going to care about setting off those tripwires. You can go over them with the space jump or the infinite bomb jumping, but why would you do that when you can just kill everything? So now we have our hands on the power bombs. They did change the functionality of the power bombs in this game, they will now reveal hidden blocks. So essentially, that's how they kind of replace the X-ray scope from Super Metroid, is by just making power bombs kind of do the same function. So now that we have our hands on a couple power bombs, we are going to head back through the pirate ship and start collecting all the other upgrades that we missed. Oops, I can crouch. Yeah, so those enemies can be kind of annoying. Not the pirates, the other ones. So here, I'm going to show off the shortcut in this room. So I like to call these things little golden R2-D2s. I'm not sure if they have an official name. They probably do. But there are some speed booster blocks that you can run through if you have that. We are going to take a little bit of a shortcut in this case. So that we can pick up this, and it also is on the way to where we want to go. So that helps. So now we want to head down. Yeah, so we want to head to the very bottom door in this room. And head down here. So fun fact, those spotlights, I don't think they're there in the, if you're playing it on easy difficulty. So they're only on normal or hard. I really haven't talked that much about the version difficulty differences, but the basic gist of it is that things will do more damage or less damage, you know, than when you're on normal. I don't remember if you get like less from health power-ups or not. I haven't played on hard in a while, but I don't think so. That might just be a different thing that I'm thinking about. Now we're back on the pirate mothership. I'm determined to avoid this, so I'm going to be safe here and roll under it. So, super missile tank here. I take this door out, and there's one more expansion over in this neck of the woods for us to pick up. So, one of the reasons that I haven't really done 100% speedruns of this game, at least on a regular or more regular basis, is I'm not the biggest fan of how you have to kind of go around and do cleanup stuff. You know, I know that happens in a lot of the Metroid games, but just as far as routing goes, the Super Metroid 100% route is just, I find it a lot more enjoyable. Alright, I'm going to do a quick double check on our abilities. So we're up to 20 supers. Alright, so yeah, we're good. We're going to start heading towards the exit of the pirate mothership here, so conveniently pretty close to where we currently are. Because we can actually do something now that we couldn't before. You can technically do this as soon as you get the power bombs, but I just wanted to kind of go and get the other stuff. Because there's really not a better time to get it than now. So we're going to fall through here. And this should be familiar to anyone who's played Super Metroid, using power bombs to break the glass tube. This must be some really strong glass if, you know, only power bombs are able to burst through it. Okay, well, I guess we're getting another shot at that. You can... There we go. Fine. That works. You can shine spark up through this room, and that makes your life a lot easier. A bit of a speed trick. You will need power bombs to get in, of course, but you also need power bombs to get out of the tunnel there. So. So I kind of like the aesthetic of this area. I'm not... Just kind of the underbelly of the ship, I guess you could call it. Oh, I didn't mean to go all the way through that. Oh, that's going to make this not as fun. Ooh, powerbomb ammo. That powerbomb ammo is actually a super rare drop. It does not drop that often. I figured that was going to happen. Those enemies are really annoying. I'm trying to build up a speed booster charge. For those of you that are curious, for this energy tank that we're just about to get. But those guys, when you kill them, they have two, like their eyes kind of fly off. And I think it's not random. It is kind of determined, like the arc that they go in. But it's still super annoying to deal with as far as the angles that are good to kill them at and where the eyes come out. It's just, ugh. They're annoying. They're not hard enemies by any means, but they're just frustrating to deal with. Yeah, pro strat's laying a bomb there. Not really. Oops, I don't want to do that actually. Oh wow, another powerbomb drop. Yeah, powerbomb ammo is kind of scarce, but it's not going to be too big of an issue for us. So you want to head... Yeah, actually we want to go to the right. This is a bit of a maze of sorts of bomb blocks. So the best way to get out, however, is to take this path, because that just puts you out right near the exit. So, I think this is... No, okay. There is a trick, I think, where you can kind of keep your shine spark through this area, but I've never been good at executing it, because there are some sloped platforms that you can use. We're getting up to an upgrade that is kind of annoying to get, if I'm being perfectly honest. So first things first, you have to destroy those blocks there with the power bomb to be able to get a speed booster charge up in this area, and then you have to shine spark diagonally up and to the left, not just up and to the left, in order to get to it. But the worst part is that there's actually a power bomb block after the speed booster blocks that you have to break. So you run into a lot of situations where you can mess up the speed booster charge through this area. If you mess up the shine spark, you're basically out of luck. So luckily I got it on the first try. If you don't hit the right angle or get it from the right spot, you'll have to start over. It's not a fun time. So luckily I only messed up once, but it can be a lot worse than that. If you're wondering why I'm going back here, is I want to get back to Torian. And you have to actually have a speed booster charge for that as well. So it's just a bunch of speed boosting. And there we go. Ah, dang it. You can kind of do a speed boost jump through that segment. It saves a little bit of time and it looks really cool, but it's not too critical to hit. So you're wondering why we're going back to Torian. There are actually upgrades here. We couldn't get them the first time that we were here, but now we can. One of them, not that bad. That's this one right here, which is super missile block. Power bomb hidden under this one, and then the last one, or the last one of two. The other one is really annoying, so it's hidden behind some speed booster blocks, but you have to basically get the charge up in this room, and you have one of two options. It was too high, I think. Yeah, just barely too high. You can either shine spark, or you can do a speed booster, space jump all the way through. honestly, do whatever you find easier. What I like about doing the speed booster method is that if you... I think that was a little low. No! You basically have a 3-block gap that you need to go through if you want to hit this Shine Spark on this. So, not the easiest thing to do. Particularly if you don't actually even get the charge in the first place. Oh boy, if I have trouble with this, I think I got it this time actually. Yeah, no, I got it. That can be tricky. Either one, you know, can be pretty difficult to deal with, so, yeah, pick your poison on that, I suppose. But now that we've done that, I realized I probably should have ended the episode before I did this stuff, but I'm just gonna get out of Torian, and then I'll sign off. One of the nice little details that I do appreciate about Torian and here is that they changed the color palette slightly, so it was kind of more purple before, and now there's, you know, a red tinge to it. So I appreciate that effect. It's like, okay, you know, something actually blew up. It didn't change the topography at all, but close enough. So, that will do it for this episode, though. We're going to continue doing the roundup next time. So thank you very much for watching. I've been redxparasite, signing out.